So in the latest chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, Whis explains that the biggest difference between Goku and the Angels is that the Angels always have Ultra Instinct on, meaning that he wants Goku, Whis wants Goku to learn how to use Ultra Instinct without transforming, and this will help with his stamina consumption problem. As such, he should only use the silver-haired form as a last resort, since it essentially has a time limit and it burns out his stamina. Even though he's perfected it, even though it doesn't put strain on his body and it makes his body tougher and stronger, it still, according to Whis, has a time limit. So Goku's next level of Ultra Instinct is to be able to use it without transforming, meaning that it would be the most efficient use of the form, almost like Super Saiyan Grade 4 with 0 stamina consumption, still getting all of the benefits from the form and essentially none of the weaknesses, meaning that Goku's next stage of evolution is his base form. Now, we've heard a lot of talk throughout Dragon Ball about how forms are basically inefficient. Like, apparently an aura on its own is just ki, like that's leaking out of your body, and in doing so, you're just wasting energy. Goku's most efficient form is his base form because there is no ki drain, and if he's able to use the powers of his other forms within his base form, obviously that's the most efficient that he's going to be able to go into. We know Goku's base form is still strong. As he gains new forms and powers up his different levels of Super Saiyan, his base form grows at an equal rate, and so his base form is still very strong at this point, and if you add Ultra Instinct on top of it, you'll give him a lot of dodging potential. Will that increase his power though? That's my real question. So my other question is, why are they going this route and trying to remove the silver-haired form altogether? This is something that fans absolutely love and we always look forward to in the anime or the manga, and it appears that they're trying to write it out of the story altogether, or at this state anyway, save it as a last resort sort of deal, which we knew was going to happen anyway, so that doesn't really add too much, but they're trying to tell us now that Goku's going to be able to use UI without transforming, but he can still transform to get like a short power boost, right? Like it has a time limit and he can transform and do a lot of damage and stuff and try and do the finishing blow, but if it fails, he's going to be completely wiped out. So they're going even further than just Super Saiyan Grade 4, because that kind of seemed to be what Goku had achieved against Moro at the end. You didn't see any energy leaking out of his body. It didn't seem to be putting any pressure or strain on his body, and I thought it appeared so that Goku had basically achieved control over Mastered Ultra Instinct, but now Whis is telling him you can go even further by simply not transforming. But the transformation itself grants Goku just crazy toughness and strength. So without transforming, Goku will lose those features, but he'll gain the dodging potential, I guess. I don't know how they're going to turn this into the future of Dragon Ball. Are they going to remove the silver-haired form altogether and just give Goku just this massive base form power boost as if he's always in Ultra Instinct without transforming? Or are they just going to like kind of write this in to make it seem like Goku's now 100 times faster than he used to be in his base form? What are they going to do with this form in the future? And why are they writing out the silver-haired form? It's not like it's complicated to draw or anything like that. So Goku's body transforms into the silver-haired, silver-eyed form in order to compensate the power of Ultra Instinct. It requires an incredibly tough body to withstand that power, and that's why his Saiyan body transformed him to compensate. We saw what happened to Moro when he had taken Ultra Instinct from Miras and his body just started blowing up, right? His body wasn't tough enough to compensate for the Ultra Instinct God power that Goku was using. So how is Goku going to be able to use Ultra Instinct without transforming? I guess he has to get his base form strong enough and tough enough to a level that he can use it without transforming, essentially. Now, we saw Master Roshi use some elements of Ultra Instinct and the Tournament of Power against Jiren. Is it going to be something like that? Are they going in that direction? It appears so, and to be honest, from my opinion, I feel like it's completely unnecessary. Like, the silver-haired form is supposed to be Goku's body, having gained perfect control. It's not supposed to be leaking energy or causing stamina drain anymore like it was doing in the Tournament of Power. That was supposed to be one of the main points of the moral arc, was that not only could Goku turn on Ultra Instinct like a light switch, but also it wouldn't hurt his body anymore. And he seemed to have achieved that at the end of the moral arc. But now Whis here is saying that that's not true. In fact, you still have a time limit in that form, and it still drains your stamina. So you need to remove it altogether and keep using Ultra Instinct, just don't transform. It just doesn't seem necessary to me why they're taking this route. They could have evolved Ultra Instinct by giving Goku the different Super Saiyan forms within Ultra Instinct, or going into Ultra Instinct level 2 or something like that. In this case, it's almost like Ultra Instinct 2 is just gonna be his base form. It's not really that exciting to me, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with me here. Why would they remove one of the core elements from Dragon Ball Super, which is the silver-haired form, which is what everybody loves, in favor of just Goku's base form more? Transformations are an integral part of Dragon Ball, so removing them is kind of boring, you would think, but I mean, I don't want to make judgments ahead of time without seeing the direction that Toyotaro is gonna take this. I mean, he might have something cool lined up, or the story may change or take us by surprise. That can always happen, but from this appearance, it seems very bland to just have Goku only fighting in his base form for the rest of the series. Now, it would kind of make sense that if you're trying to go to the end of Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, whereas Super is trying to lead up to where Goku trains with Oob or fights Oob in the Tenkaichi tournament, and Goku does not transform at all there, is that trying to imply, are we heading in this direction right now that Goku won't transform anymore, that it's the end of transformations for Goku because he's going to be able to use Ultra Instinct in its base form, making all of his transformations inefficient and useless because they just waste unnecessary stamina, and so he can just basically use all his full power in his base form. No more transformations out of Goku. Is that why he didn't transform against Oob? Or was he just trying to give him a little handicap? Is this the direction that we're heading in here? I mean, I think if it is, it's a horrible idea. In an anime that's basically all about transformations, if you remove them altogether, what are you left over with? And what happens to Vegeta? Like, if he's not going to get some purple-haired destroyer form, is he just gonna stay in blue? Is Vegeta going to learn how to use Hakai and just feel like his all of his transformations are unnecessary at this point, and maybe Vegeta doesn't transform anymore? It all seems really wacky to me, and I guess it's a little bit still too early to tell what's gonna happen with the future of this series, but with this direction that they're pointing at, it's a little bit mind-boggling and confusing as to why they would choose this direction. I don't think too much is going to change. Personally, I don't think they're going to remove all of the forms entirely, but what they're trying to do here is just solidify when Goku goes into the silver-haired form, it's a countdown. Like, he's gonna burn out fast, and that's the be-all end-all. It's like Kaioken times 20, right? Like, that's what they're trying to say that's going to be now, which we already kind of knew already, with the exception of the moral arc, which was kind of contradicting to what they're saying now. But in any case, I think there's a chance here that we might eventually not see the silver-haired form anymore. I mean, if Goku gets full control over Master Ultra Instinct without transforming, he doesn't need to transform and waste the stamina anymore. I guess the only time he's going to go into the form is when he needs a power boost, but is he going to get the power boost in his base form and just not need to transform anymore? I guess we'll have to see. I hope they don't remove forms entirely. I think that's a good way to ruin this series, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon for some more videos.